All right, hello TrustSwap community. Jeff Kerdakis here for a long overdue AMA. Really happy to get in here, answer some questions for you guys, give some quick updates, and just get everyone up to speed on all the incredible things that have been happening at TrustSwap lately. So without further ado, actually first let me check that it's recording. It is good, and let's dive in. All right, so first off, as a lot of people saw about 12 hours ago, maybe just a little bit more, we announced an acquisition of Team Finance. So Team Finance was a competitor to TrustSwap and an incredibly strong one at that as well. They did team token locks and liquidity locks as well as token vesting, and they did a phenomenal job of it. They had over $14 million of value locked into their platform. Their UI, their user interface, their design is absolutely astounding, really well done. And in terms of token locks, I'll admit when we're beat or where we're being beaten, and that was definitely one of those areas. Team Finance was out competing us in that area, and so I had some chats with the guys over at Team Finance, and we decided, you know what? Why don't we merge these two projects together? Why don't we combine forces to make something synergistic rather than having two separate things, putting two separate resources to build really the exact same thing? Why don't we join forces and make one strong, cohesive unit? And so that is exactly what we have done. TrustSwap has effectively acquired Team Finance, and so what the terms of that deal look like are we're going to be airdropping essentially all the community holders that were holding Team tokens. We're pegging that token at $1. So let's say you had 10,000 Team tokens. Well, you're going to get $10,000 of swap. And that value is being currently pegged at 53.6 cents per swap. But so to kind of make it really simple, for every one team you hold, you get 1.865 swap. Let's just call it 1.9 swap. So if you held 1,000 swap, 1,000 team, you get 1,900 swap at this conversion point. And what this conversion is going to look like, I don't want to get too technical right out of the gate here. Apologies for this, guys. We're going to take a snapshot on December 3rd. If you're holding team on December 3rd at 5 p.m., then you're going to get that swap airdrop at that rate. And that airdrop is going to happen in two batches. First one on December 5th and the second one on December 19th. So that's what it looks like. We're merging the two communities together, building one strong unit. So it's going to be approximately 535,000 team tokens that need to get distributed to. So don't worry about what it shows on CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko. It's going to equate to about 950,000 swap that will be coming from the dev wallet. All right. So that's Team Finance. I think that's the bulk of it. Always open to other questions in regards to, what the intricacies of how that goes. But long story short, we're onboarding a whole new dev team. We're onboarding more community members. This is incredibly, I'm pretty proud that our company was able to achieve this in 6 months of being around. I don't know too many crypto companies that even perform acquisitions, and so for TrustSwap to do this only 6 months in, I think that's a very formidable feat for us to accomplish. Next up, we have our launch pads. Launch pads are going phenomenally well. Orbit, I believe, currently is sitting around a 4x. Coin is sitting around a 2.5x. They just had their distribution yesterday, so obviously there's going to be a sell. They were 4x before that. Coin, I'm very optimistic on Coin. I'm holding my coins. Damon, if you're hearing this, I'm holding my coins, my man. And then Yield.app. This is coming up on December 7th. And if you don't know what Yield app is, this one, again, I'm really excited about it. I'm excited about pretty much every project we put on the Launchpad. Otherwise, we're not putting it on the Launchpad. But essentially what Yield app is, it's essentially Coinbase, so it's normie friendly. You can, get in really easily, purchase your cryptocurrency really easily. But, here's the value proposition. I always think like, okay, how can you adopt this to normies? And so, if I'm talking to somebody's mom, for example, it's like, listen, it's just like Coinbase. You download the app, but not only instead of holding Bitcoin or holding Ethereum, you can actually put it in kind of like a bank savings account. And when it's in that savings account, you can earn in between 12 to 20% annualized return. Well, they've never heard of this before. 3 to 4%, that's pretty solid. 7%, that's like Moontown for traditional assets. So if they can safely, let's just say safely, I won't go into the intricacies on why this is actually an incredibly safe method that Yield app has put forward to be able to earn a sustainable 12 to 20%. I'm going to do an interview with these guys and we will cover why that is. Long story short, 12 to 20, very achievable. And for normies, this is going to be something I just see a lot of people using, myself included, So I'm really excited about that. That's on December 7th at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. There's going to be 2 different investment rounds. You can either get in at 7 cents or 11 cents. If you get in at 11 cents, there's no vesting period. If you get in at 7 cents, off the top of my head, there is a vesting period. I believe it is 2 months. So first unlock on day 1, second unlock on day 30, third unlock on day 60. So it's a 2-month vesting if you get in at 7 cents instead of 11. So you get to pick which one you want to get in. Both rounds are open for $600,000 and so $1.2 million total. And there's no initial max cap. The max cap will be decided upon based on the amount of interest. If you're holding 2,000 swap, good for you. You get a guaranteed allocation. And if you have a swap score of 5,000 or more, you get a guaranteed double allocation. So not only do you get an allocation guaranteed, but your allocation is guaranteed to be double that of anybody else if this thing gets oversubscribed. What is a swap score? It essentially means how much swap have you on average been staking per day for the last 60 days? So if, let's say, 60 days ago you put in 10,000 swap and if you just held that steady for 60 days, well, you got 10,000. Well, if you started, let's say it's a 60-day window again, let's say you started on day 30 and you had 0 before that, 000. On day 30, boom, you put in 10,000 swap, and then for the next 30 days you held that. Well, obviously the average then is 5,000. Half of it you held 0, half of it you held 10,000, meet it in the middle, 5,000. That's the swap score. Right on. And so to get into these pre-sales or to get into yield, at the very least, the only way is to be staked. So that the staking portal's filling up. Once it's full, it's full. I may have misspoke. I may have said holding 2,000 swap guarantees you entry. That's incorrect. It's staking 2,000 swap. That's just a slip of speech. So it's staking. Staking is the only way to get in. Next up, we got Unimex. This had been announced about 2 months ago, but now it's actually, the gears are starting to turn. These guys are launching in mid-December is the anticipated launch date, around December 14th. What is Unimex? It is a decentralized margin exchange. What does that mean? Well, you know, on Binance, you can do like 10x leverage, 20x leverage, 30x leverage. You can usually only do this on centralized exchanges. What if you could do that on Uniswap? That would be cool. We all know how much money Bitfinex, how much money Binance makes on these massive margin trades, like these liquidation events, all these kinds of things. Long story short, there's a lot of money to be made in the margin game, and what Unimex is doing is introducing that to the decentralized landscape, and they're just built right on top of Uniswap, using the Uniswap liquidity, so a ton of fees coming from there. The way that they do margin, again, not to get too complex, but it's with borrowing and lending. So if you're borrowing, that's how you fund your margin. It's a 0.8% fee, and half of that fee, 0.4%, is divvied up. So now we have that 0.4% fee. 6.5% of that is going direct. Sorry, 6.5% of that is going to the swap stakers. So we have a decent chunk of all fees from the Unimex platform that is going to swap stakers. And I may be misspeaking here. It actually may be 6.5% of the 0.8. I have to double check that number. So it's my apologies, guys. I need to get tight on my numbers. There's a lot going on here, so I don't have all my numbers locked down as tight as I should. And there's also a 2.5% total supply airdrop of Unimex. So the entire total supply swap stakers, the top 750 swap score, those guys are going to be getting an equal distribution of Unimex tokens. So this will be a very, very good event for everyone. So, just quick caveat, it's not a launchpad project. This team is anonymous. Use caution. Their token is live. You can do what you want. This isn't necessarily an endorsement. This is more so, hey, TrustSwap, the company, has had an opportunity for an integration, and we're going to take that. 9 times out of 10, we're going to take that. So we want to be able to provide rewards to stakers, and that's exactly what we're doing. So, boom, Adam's secret project. We have been talking about that for a while now, and we are going to have full details on that Thursday. The date for Thursday is December 3rd at 9 p.m. PST. We're going to reveal everything to do with Adam's secret project, the anticipated launch date, all that good stuff. And again, rewards to swap stakers. That's what we're always interested in doing. Boom. All right. So next up, the $300 billion market cap company integration. This is still in the works. Things take time, so we're still hashing that one out. I do not have timelines or updates for you on that one, unfortunately. And I'm going to pop into Discord. I did not load it up yet. Let me load it up. I'm going to hop over into the AMA section. Boom, boom, boom. Scroll up. Okay, and I am going to be skimming over a few of these questions. I'm going to anticipate that some of them have already been asked or some of them aren't as relevant, let's say. And I want to be able to keep this to a fairly concise timeline, 20 minutes or less. We're at about 10 minutes right now, so I'll try to keep this to 10 minutes. Ba-boom, ba-boom, boom, boom. Okay. Any update on the Freeway token and MobiPay airdrops for long-term swap holders? That's going to be coming about 6 months from the launch date. That's when those airdrops are coming. Okay, so it seems to be that there's some interesting balancing between projects on the launch pad wanting to getting the biggest possible pool of investors, and TrustSwap, on the other hand, wanting to have some level of exclusivity. I think both Orbit and Coin were both purchasable outside the TrustSwap ecosystem, although clearly not promoted by both projects. How do you see this going forward? Do you think at some point TrustSwap has such a track record that you can clearly claim exclusivity? What are some steps you think of taking to decide this tug of war in your favor? So the answer here is the way that we did it for Coin is really the way that we're doing it right now. So this one for Coin and for Yield, it's anybody can apply, but depending on who's getting out, like how much allocation is pledged, that is who we're going to be allowing in. So for Coin, I believe it was really only the TrustSwap community who got in, maybe a couple, because some of the people in TrustSwap didn't return when they're like, hey, yes, you're approved for your $1,500 allocation. They didn't send the reply email. So then they went to non-swap holders. So that's the path that we're going to be taking with Yield. But the path we're also looking at is if we don't get a reply from, once the swap, let's say, the person who's in swap, who has the guaranteed allocation, if they don't send the reply email, boom, we're going to just then go to another swap holder and say, hey, do you want to double up, for example? So in terms of the future, though, we've been talking about the ticket system for a long time. So this is going to be the perfect balance. This is still in the works. And so what that's going to look like is it's only the stakers who get the tickets, but they can sell it to anybody. So that will allow for pseudo exclusivity, where it's the stakers who are getting the rewards, but anybody can participate as long as jurisdictional restrictions are met. Okay. Someone says, it's great that long-term holders get access to the launch pad. Are there any real benefits for bigger holders over 2,000 or staking 2,000 for the next launch pad? So essentially saying, what whale incentives are there? Well, obviously, you got the 5,000 swap score. That's a good one. You get a double incentive there. And obviously the staking rewards. If you're a whale and you're staked, you're going to get more staking rewards. Pretty simple there. And also for the Yield pre-sale, there was actually a pre-launch pad opening, and so we shot that into the whale group, and there was a larger allocation that the whales were able to fill up. So not everything is always necessarily publicized. The whales did get a good bite, so if you want some of those juicy deals, you can pop into the whale group. Boom, 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 boom. Any update on getting volume up through smart contracts? How are discussions going with OTC desks? So again, talking about competition, that's what the OTC desks see TrustSwap as, competition. I don't know how any way else to put it. And they're not really that keen to deal with us. So potentially, this secret project, here's a little leak, is going to be very involved. One of the aspects might be involved with kind of, let's just say, outdoing the competition. And I'll leave it at that. When can we expect to use the lottery system? I would anticipate January. Let's play it safe. I'm going to start using extended deadlines. Boom. What exactly does TrustSwap offer for launch pads? We essentially do the marketing. We don't touch KYC documentation. We don't touch user identity. We don't touch the funds. We do the marketing. We do the networking. We get the project into the world. That's what we like to do. Obviously, we have our software as well, token locks, liquidity locks, all those kinds of things. Talking about will executions, next question. That's not our focus right now. Will execution, It's just not going to bring a lot of volume. It's a really cool idea, but we're going to be focusing on other things first, such as crypto subscriptions and onboarding this team finance team, and just really overhauling everything that is in the TrustSwap ecosystem right now and just being a lot more visually appealing, so we can start pushing more volume through the ecosystem. That's my number one goal, is rewards to stakers. Just so you guys know, my number one goal, and we're doing everything we possibly can to make that happen. Boom. The upload of all KYC info, kind of a question about that. And again, so to reiterate, that's all done. It's sent directly to that company. All the forms, those aren't our forms. We just URL redirect to the forms, so it never goes through our servers. When can we expect the site section containing all previous and upcoming launch pads with dates and prerequisites? Might even be live right now. I know we are working out a couple bugs on it, but if you go to launchpad.trustswap.com, it is live. I don't know what it looks like on mobile, but it's the version 1 is live on desktop right now. Next question, is there still something in the planning with Layer? Yes. So Unilayer, this is a cool one. We haven't talked about this in a while. They actually have their first Launchpad project coming up. I forget the name now, but it's a crypto gambling thing. Regardless, we are receiving 50% of all the funds from the Unilayer Launchpad. Boom, we get that in ETH. We buy back swap tokens with the price. I didn't say that. And then we distribute that to token holders. So off we go. To stakers. That's what happens. We buy back the tokens, distribute it to stakers. Can you explain better what TrustSwap will do for Mandala Exchange? That one is right now on hold. Mandala just has a lot of things on the go. So we're just being patient, sitting on the sidelines, and we should be back in talks with that later. Okay. Scrolling. When will P2P swaps work with the Bitcoin network? So that would be wrapping as a service. That one's likely going to be fourth quarter of 2021. That one's not on our immediate priority list. We got a lot of things we want to push out before that. Someone's asking about the transfer of the $3 million from a dev fund that I control. So it went from dev fund that Adam has to the wallet that I'm controlling, which is the liquidity provider wallet. And so, secret's out, that's going to team finance. And then we'll also be using that. I'm just holding it. We want to diversify which wallets are holding. Another guy's talking about any real benefits for big holders and stakers. So yeah, I talked about that again. The more you stake, the more you earn in rewards. I think we're paying out a 14%, 12 or 14% APY right now, which is really incredible. That's better than Celsius. That's better than BlockFi. That's better than most projects out there. So just right there, that's a really great incentive to just stake your swap and relax a little bit. But obviously, you have that access to launch pads. And then, we are tossing a couple whale deals in here and there. Right on. Someone says the AMA going to happen soon. I know this was a little bit delayed. I apologize for that. And right on. So we have made it to the end of the AMA. That was a short one. I'm really excited that we could cruise through this, give some kind of punchy information as fast as we could. I usually talk a lot slower than this. I'm a lot more relaxed. But yeah, I wanted to condense the information for you guys. I'm really excited for where TrustSwap is going. I think everyone sees what's happening, the momentum that we have. Things are going very, very, very well, as Ivan calls it in Swappy Swap land. So I'm incredibly optimistic about the future. I think we're going to start seeing a lot of upgrades, developments. You guys are going to start seeing a lot of changes. We're onboarding an entire new dev team, and they come with a lot of firepower. This isn't just one or two devs. They have pretty much 10 developers under their wing here. So things are going to get really interesting, really fast. And right now, TrustSwap, in my opinion, is positioned as the number one launchpad out there in the world. What's the other one? Binance. And Binance does a great job at getting it full, getting funding in there. But in terms of marketing, networking, community adoption, I think we definitely have them beat. So I think that's super exciting. A 6-month-old company. We just had our first acquisition, potentially number one launchpad in the world. We are now the leader in token locks, token vesting, liquidity locks, bar none. No one even comes second close. And nobody's, Binance is number 2 on the launchpad, but number 3 is a far cry away. So for us to have Binance as our main competitor, that's pretty good. So I really see TrustSwap as being in a really incredible position right now. I'm excited for the future. You guys can feel my energy. I'm excited about this. And yeah, feel free to ping me with any questions in the general chat. Please don't DM me. My DMs are a nightmare. I get lots of DMs, and it really helps if people can just ask me questions in the general chat. And maybe the community members can respond, maybe moderators can respond, or if not, I can respond personally, and then lots of people can see that answer, because guaranteed a lot of other people have that exact same question. So anyways, yeah, I'm super busy these days and very happy to be busy to, like I say, continue adding value to the TrustSwap ecosystem and adding rewards to the TrustSwap stakers. So anyways, guys, that's it from me. See you guys next time.